contest. The key today is to try to set your defense, and that happens, by the way, with having a better shot selection. So part of your defense comes from how you run your offense, and that for Utah has to improve.
Yeah, it feels like an important game for Utah, doesn't it?
It is. Your home court. Look around college basketball right now. You have to protect your home court if you want to have success.
They need something positive. Edgecombe on the attack. First shot of the game, no good. And Utah grabs a rebound. Maybe looking to push tempo when they can. Madsen in transition, hits a three. Those have not been going down for Gabe Madsen. He's probably their best player. He's their most experienced player, and they really need that.
They do, Dave. His last 4 home games, he's shooting 13% from beyond the arc on this floor. That is a huge make for him to try to get some confidence.
You watch him shoot that shot, how good it looks, and you wonder, how is 13% possible for him?
When you move up the scouting report, teams defend you differently, and he's pressing.
Good look. Edgecombe found his teammate. That's Robert Wright, who misses the three. Gabe Madsen with the rebound. Mike Shotov-Jumps, a transfer from San Francisco. A big guy who can run the point guard for Utah. Lawson Lovering, their big man, was not feeling well today, but he's giving it a go. That shot goes off the top of the backboard, but they're going to call a foul on Baylor underneath the basket. Scott Drew wondering, huh? 22 years at Baylor for Scott Drew.
Unbelievable what he's built, right? I mean, like, you think about what he inherited. We talk about it almost every single game. I'm sure Baylor fans, like, we've heard the story, we understand, we know where the program was, but it's the best build of an elite program in college basketball history, from where it was to where it is now. And that goes into even this year, because you look at them and you see how their season started, and there's people in Waco, you know, not as good this year, but this in the past would have been an outstanding start to the season. Just the standard has become so high.
It really has. Almost a turnover. Nice pass down low, and then the layup is good for Ezra Ausar. Good look from Jake Willeen.
Willeen, though, set that whole thing up. I mean, that was a really small window to thread that ball through.
Yeah, well, Jake Willeen, 6'10". He's a shooter. He's a passer. Entry down low. Omier got cut off. Down the lane, Nunn with a floater. There's the first bucket for Baylor.
You have to drive the hard closeouts, and for Nunn, he's such a good shooter from beyond the arc. Teams are going to really run at him and try to get him off that three-point line. So you've got to be able to turn it down and look to attack. Great job.
Shotov-Jumps over to Madsen, trying to get it inside. Ausar, little spin move. Omier stayed with him, but Ausar scores anyway.
Way too easy, the last two, getting it deep inside the teeth of the defense of Baylor. And that's been a little bit of their struggle over the course of the year. It's been better in conference play, but that starts with being unable to disrupt at the point of attack like they have in previous years.
There have been some years in recent Scott Drew history where Baylor's been one of the toughest teams inside to score on in the country. Edgecombe switched to the left hand, missed it badly.
You and I talked about it. I was interested to see how he would come out. He had a 30-point game.
Nobody stopped Ausar. Just right to the rim.
And they're going to need a timeout. I think Scott Drew's going to take a timeout. His team has not gotten off the bus yet. They may be out on the floor, but they are not in the building. It's the start that Ausar's looking for, though. 3 of 3, 6 points already for him. Every single one of them within 2 feet.
Edgecombe and Omier both go to the bench. A little message in that maybe. Jalen Celestine is in right in the lane. Hits the shot from about 6 feet.
We talk so much about Edgecombe, but Wright has been playing some really good basketball for Baylor. A very talented freshman as well.
Down low, and another shot right at the rim, this time for Lawson Lovering.
Well, Coach Craig Smith told us for their offense to function better, they have to be aggressive and go after the paint. And as of right now, it's been the path of least resistance defensively. I mean, they're getting everything they want. That's a screen and just a simple slip to the rim.
He did think the one positive from, because they got thumped by Baylor in Waco earlier this year, the one positive really was that when they got the ball inside, they were efficient scoring it. Shotov-Jumps fouled a jump shooter.
And you can't do that and allow Baylor to manufacture points. But watch the screen, and he just slips it and goes right to the rim. And help side defensive rotation, you're standing way too far over. You should be underneath the rim and able to step up and accept a charge outside of that arc, or tag him and not allow him to even turn with the basketball.
Craig Smith, 4th year at Utah, and I don't think he liked that call, but maybe the look and the body language. Oh, Craig, it's hard to say that because he's a relentlessly positive person and coach, but it was hard to be positive after the last game that Utah played.
In his press conference, I mean, he was very honest. And this is a new adventure for Utah, obviously, with the demise of the Pac-12, to go through the Big 12, where it's different. The physicality is different. The athleticism is different. And the environments are different. I mean, every time you go on the road in this conference, it's a sold-out crowd. That was not the case in the old Pac-12.
Breaking the pressure. Lovering is going to try to dunk it. No whistle. Waleed got swatted away. All right, those of you watching on ESPN News, we welcome you to Salt Lake City, where Baylor off to a very slow start, but now some shots starting to go down for the Bears. Still a long way to go. Utah, Baylor in the Big 12. And the Utah lead is now down to 2.
Utah has just been operating very cleanly at the offensive end.
Gabe Madsen, very experienced player for Utah, hit his first 3, trying to go backdoor. Tough pass, saved inbound, shot clock winding down. Asar is going to have to heave one up. No whistle. Ball didn't hit the rim. That's a shot clock violation. And so we'll take a break here in Salt Lake City with the Utah Utes. With that dunk, and you know, coming off a performance, Sean, where VJ Edgecombe, because his freshman year came in with huge expectations.
Yes.
One of the most hyped freshmen in the country. And it's been a little up and down. Would that be fair?
Yes, but how many freshmen impact winning in college basketball today?
They're going to throw a lob to Edgecombe, and the lob was a little too firm. Even with his explosion, he couldn't get up there and get it.
That was the travel, by the way, on the catch right there. Yeah, that pass is better. We're talking about his explosiveness, and we're going to give an Emmy to our producer, Joe McCoy, for rolling that out and right into a lob dunk like he told Scott Drew before the game today.
Almost like we were in the huddle. Asar wasn't expecting the pass. Now on the break, there's Omier, who dunks it home to tie the game.
So the great start, 9-2 to get going, and then equally a 9-2 run for the Baylor Bears. They're starting to lock up defensively, starting to congest the middle of the paint.
Norchad Omier, who got benched after the first minute or 2, back in the game.
Get the ball, run the floor. Unselfish mentality from Baylor.
Bench might be a little harsh, but I think it wasn't a coincidence that Scott Drew took his 2 top players off the court after that slow start. Maybe a little message sent to everybody.
Yeah, it sends a message not only to those 2, but it sends it to everybody else on the roster, like, we got to wake up and we got to start waking up quick.
And those guys are back in the game. In for the first time, Zach Keller, who immediately got tied up, brought the ball down. Arrow does favor Utah. Zach Keller played some minutes against Houston on the road in that disastrous performance for Utah. Bad pass. Hunter Erickson had it stolen away. Edgecombe all the way, missed the layup. And here comes Utah. They've got numbers now. Down low, ball stripped away, and then fumbled out of bounds. After all that, nobody scored.
Edgecombe's playing too fast right now. He's not playing with the same level of balance that we saw him play the other night.
Well, 6 minutes in, 11-11 game here in Salt Lake City. Edgecombe down low, Omier with the left hand. Good pass.
Really good pass and a really good high pin and seal by Norchad Omier.
He's done that a lot in his career. A lot of those 2,000-plus points who come on plays like that. First lead for Baylor. And Utah's offense is just kind of ground to a halt. Another instance where Keller brought the ball down. But I think this time, instead of a jump ball, they called a foul.
His first, second team foul for the Bears.
All right, well, we welcome those who, what a wild game in Austin, Texas. Man, 22-point comeback for UT against A&M. Dave Fleming, Sean Farnham here in Salt Lake City. Big 12 basketball here, Baylor and Utah.
And you go from one freshman that had a 30-point game today in Trey Johnson to one that had a 30-point game the last time he came out in VJ Edgecombe. Two guys that are projected to be both top 5 picks in the NBA draft come June.
Yeah, Edgecombe playing his best basketball, but he commits a foul here, trying to reach around and steal the pass. It's been kind of an uneven start today for VJ, coming off that career best performance. Baylor was down 9-2 in the first few minutes, had to call a timeout. Edgecombe got pulled from the game. Norchad Omier got pulled from the game since then. It's been more typical Baylor basketball.
9-0 run and 4 turnovers forced in the last 3 minutes of this game.
Wide open, Keller for 3. The big man can shoot a little bit.
Some of their turnovers have led to easy points. If you're a Utes fan, you saw a ton of turnovers the last time they played against Houston.
7 assists, 26 turnovers last time out. Here's a turnover for Baylor. Utah might have had an advantage, didn't push it though. Moline wide open. He's a good shooter, way short. Saved in bounds. Keller pinned underneath the basket, had it knocked away, brings it down. He's done that about 3 times already since coming to the game, had it stripped away. 3 on this end. That one off the back iron. Omier with a rebound, getting close to a milestone. Omier missed it, but he got fouled.
Norchad Omier, I guarantee you, if a shot's coming in the corner, he's going to be on the opposite side ready to track down the rebound.
Yeah, we asked because he's getting very close to his 1,500th career rebound. He's going to do it today, presumably, unless something crazy happens. So we asked Scott Drew before the game, like, what makes him such a good rebounder? And it was a cool answer because he said he anticipates every single shot is going to be missed. He's going for every missed shot rebound on both ends of the floor, 3 away from 1,500. And Sean, we've been playing college basketball. Does he get credit for a rebound there? 3 is good, Celestine.
If you don't rebound the basketball, those kick-out threes are always usually the ones that are wide open because the defense has shrunk in a little bit. A nice job on that kick-out by Baylor. And yes, that does count as a rebound.
Okay, so
he's only 2 shot.
2 away. Very few players. Moline missed the layup, got right to the rim and missed it.
You got another rebound right there.
Okay, 1 away. If Baylor misses a shot, I wouldn't put it past him just to get it done right now. He got it done. I mean, see, it's easy with him.
I mean, it's really incredible.
That was 4 rebounds in about 30 seconds.
Want to know why
with 2,000 points and 1,500 rebounds.
Absolutely incredible.
Amazing.
He wears you out as a defensive player because it's not just about, oh my gosh, a shot's going up. If you get to that point in your head, I promise you he's already wedging you underneath your own basket. And he's an elite player that has made a huge impact, obviously, on Baylor so far this season, but in college basketball in general. That Miami team that made a run to the Final Four that he was an essential aspect of. And 6 points, 5 rebounds after a very sluggish start and going to the bench early in this game. He's a big part of why Baylor's been able to come back and get a 5-point lead after trailing 9-2.
Yeah, the first few minutes of this game were ugly for Baylor. Now up 5 and setting up some pressure. Lovering back in the game, almost couldn't get it in bounds. Even that pass deflected out by Edgecombe.
It's a 15-3 run right now. And that's been going now for over 4 minutes, but it's been turnovers that lead to runouts. It's offensive rebounds by Norchad Omier, leading to second chance points opportunities.
Lovering, the big man, thought about taking it all the way. That one almost ripped away by Edgecombe. Spin move, left hand, foul. Good move by Ezra Asar.
He's been the lone bright spot offensively for Utah early in this game. 3 of 4 shooting with 6 points. Now an opportunity to add to that at the free throw line. But everything he's done has been inside the paint.
Utah, one thing Utah's talked about, how they need to get better, get to the free throw line a little more, and then make free throws. They were only 5 of 12 against Houston. Missed the first one here. Big Monday women's college basketball matchup in the SEC. Number 2 South Carolina coming off that win against undefeated LSU, and number 17 Tennessee. That's Monday, 7 Eastern on ESPN2.
South Carolina's been going through a gauntlet of a schedule. They played number 5 Texas, then number 19 Alabama, then number 13 Oklahoma, and then number 5 LSU. And look at the margin of victory in all of those games. A near 40-point win over Oklahoma. But really super impressive. Second half, they imposed their will last night in that game against LSU.
I know LSU. Look, LSU, nice block by Lovering. At some point, they're going to have to beat South Carolina to really consider that a true rivalry. They haven't beaten them much in the last many years.
Well, only one team remains undefeated this year in women's college basketball, and they reside out of Westwood, UCLA. And Corey Close's team has been sensational. They beat South Carolina.
Edgecombe way up for the offensive rebound. That was a nice play. Celestine from outside. Shot of jumps. Defensive board. One-on-one, big man against big man. Ojanwuna cut him off. That shot missed, and it's going to be saved by Ojanwuna. Here comes Baylor.
Good defensive possession, good closeout, forcing a contested shot late in the shot clock.
Well, they're just daring Edgecombe to shoot, so he does and makes a 3.
Getting better. He's getting better every single time he comes out. Number 3 prospect by Paul Biancardi in the ESPN 100. Coming out of high school, played for Long Island Lutheran. An elite level athlete, but that 3-point shot is getting better.
8-point lead for Baylor.
Coming off of a season high 30 points against Kansas State. A little bit of a disjointed start to the game today, but has made his impact defensively a couple times, dug down on the post and dislodged the ball and gained a possession.
I know Cooper Flagg has sort of now become the consensus #1 overall pick. Lovering, the big man, trying to drive it in, just flung it up there. Rebound Baylor. Edgecombe on the break. See if they find him. None down the lane, and no whistle. Ball out of bounds. Baylor will keep it. Utah saying, well, nobody touched the ball. He just threw it up and it went out of bounds.
I would say there was a foul there.
Yes, I would too.
They could be upset about the call, but the other option was the foul.
Celestine, who's much more of an outside shooter, went inside to get the basket, and then he just pushed Willeen, and I guess they're going to say it was incidental.
He was just standing up and running back on the floor.
Incidental contact.
I slipped and fell harder on the ice in Sundance last night when we were at the film festival together.
It was fun to be up there, by the way. It's a good week to be in the state of Utah. A couple weeks.
Yeah, man,
a lot going on.
It's unbelievable. Sundance was beautiful last night. Had a great dinner.
You walk up through the ski town and all the movie stars are there, and then there's you and me.
I couldn't believe how many people recognized you. I mean, it was kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, well,
they thought our producer was Fred Savage, so that was also a little funny, but that's
a lot of crossover between our audience and that audience. 10-point lead for Baylor. After the great start for Utah, it's evaporated. Asar getting to the basket, and he missed it. Man, so many missed layups for Utah. Now Lovering fading away.
The difference is the balance, Dave. Early in the game, they were able to get inside. They were on balance and playing strong off of 2. You look at those last couple of layups, they're fading away and taking a 2-foot jump shot and turning it into a 4 or a 6-foot jump shot. Go through the contact. Don't try to avoid the contact.
They are drawing fouls, so now they're in the bonus. Whether they can capitalize on that is another thing.
They can't score. I mean, that's the biggest thing. It is a 20-3 run.
Yeah, I mean, and they had 9 points in the first, 3 minutes? Another missed free throw for Asar, and he's not even close on these. Edgecombe passes, great look. for his big man, Ojanwana.
Really smart. They go to a drop coverage on the screen, which means the big isn't going to show hard, but he's going to leave space on that backside. You're still occupying him, and you can throw it right over the top of their head.
Madsen hit the first shot of the game. Hasn't been heard from since. Now he travels.
Let's go back to the last possession. VJ Edgecombe, watch the big man, number 34, he's laying off of him. That allows Edgecombe to turn the corner and attack him a little bit. And then it's just a simple soft touch up to the iron and let your big man do the rest.
I was too wordy when I was trying to make my point earlier. Cooper Flagg, okay, he's going to be the #1 pick. You watch this kid play against Kansas State, it looked like a #1 pick kind of performance.
A lot of people said last year's draft was down. And some of that was because there wasn't a lot of great college prospects. That's not the case this year.
Well, they paid too much attention to Edgecombe, who hustles after the loose ball, gets the rebound, and has his shot blocked. Miro Little,
that's a foul,
got fouled. So more free throws coming for the Utes.
But Dave, continuing that thought process of the difference of this year's draft versus last year's draft, Cooper Flagg is elite.
Legit,
right?
yeah.
Has no weakness, no glaring flaw that you see when you watch him play. Dylan Harper, if you haven't paid attention to him at Rutgers, he's a very special player. Ace Bailey is another person on that same team as a freshman. Trey Johnson, who we just saw go for 30 before this game came on air. And then you have VJ Edgecombe. The top of this draft, those first 4 or 5 picks, are all guys that can go ahead and make an impact at that next level. And that's different from where we were a season ago.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I think a lot of the NBA fans sit back and they get to see them play in these college games. They get to see the highlights and they start going, oh man, I want that guy on my team. You know, last year, Alex Sarr played in the NBL, which is the New Zealand Professional League and the Australian Professional League. And then you had Zachary Richeche, who came over from France. A lot of people not as familiar.
That three no good. It was a good look for Robert Wright, who's been a little off from the outside. Utah trying to get back in this game after they controlled it early.
Get back to some of those on-ball screens that they were running. They're not running as many on-ball screens, Dave, as they were running earlier in this game where they would slip. Baylor likes to switch. And when they switch, they're okay even switching 1 through 5, which means that you have a mismatch on the block and most likely a mismatch on the outside as well with your guard.
More free throws coming. This time, Zach Keller, after they called Robert Wright for the foul. He goes to the bench. Edgecombe right back in. So front end of the 1-and-1 for Keller. In and out. A lot of missed free throws for Utah.
2 of 6.
And at least 2 of those front ends of 1-and-1, so he missed chances for more points. Not good. Omier back in the game. Norchad Omier working his way closer to the bucket. Off of his leg, though. Out of bounds. That's a Baylor turnover.
It's a rare Baylor turnover, but a lot of things have been really going well for the Baylor Bears. Percentage of opponents' points per game, the steals, the blocks. They're on an 11-game win streak right now going into Allen Fieldhouse, playing their best basketball of the season.
They beat Utah this week at home, 70-36. That was the final score. Utah got to 30, and for a while, I wasn't sure they were going to get to 30.
They had 17 points in the first half. Did not score, I think, in the first 7 minutes of the second half. They're struggling to score today. Baylor's put the clamps on them.
Yeah, not much going on this possession. Little launches up a 3. Offensive rebound. Follow no good. Asar missed it again. Man, point blank range. And basically, that last one was uncontested. He just missed it. He's working hard. But nothing to show for it. It was not pretty, was it? Second fewest since 1980. They had 26 turnovers. They had 7 assists, 26 turnovers. They made 13 shots. They missed 7 free throws.
Tough.
I'm done listing all the. There are more, but
you got to move past it though. And they came out today with a sense of purpose and a sense of energy early. But the wheels have fallen off this wagon once again.
Yeah. And this kid, VJ Edgecombe, he is playing really well.
He's got 3 assists to go with his 6 points here in the first half.
I'm glad you point that out. Madsen, 3, way off the mark, and Edgecombe way up high. He also averages 5 rebounds a game. Not a great pass this time, though. And then a collision. That'll be a foul against O'Meara.
Scott Drew's going, I like the idea, but we don't need it. A good job. Look, he's hesitating on these shots. You try to see, but the defense backing off. Look, the form is good. There's 12 different NBA teams here in the building today, all watching that young man. And you can see him saying that was my bad on the pass. And you know what's the first thing Scott Drew said about him?
He's a winning guy. He wants to win. He cares about winning over stats. It's a good compliment.
And he said, you know, coming off a 30-point game, he might come out and only take 2 shots and just share the ball. And you can see him just, you know, he knows better.
I'm glad you pointed out the assist, though. He's got a very positive assist-to-turnover ratio on the year.
Yep.
He averages 5 rebounds a game. He averages 2.5 steals per game. I mean, this is a young man who's not just chucking up shots and that's it. He's doing a lot of other things for this Baylor team. 41 steals, that's a lot of steals.
Right, remember, he started 0 for 4 today, and now he's 2 for 7. He's made 2 out of the last 3 shots that he's taken, both of them coming from beyond the arc.
Moving without the ball, finds another open look, hits another 3.
And all 12 teams keep marking down that he only has 3-point makes today. And there's another rebound for him. That's the thing, that as you watch him play and my preparation for this game and isolating his plays, he is around the basketball a lot at both ends of the floor.
Such a good quality. O'Meara got double teamed. Almost had it stripped away. He throws it off of Willeen out of bounds. I'm with you, too. The form looks good.
Yeah. Now, the release has got to get a little bit faster. He's got to not hesitate as much as he does. But once it gets into that shooting pocket, he holds it. He has to go off those 2 fingertips and watches it goes through the hoop. Really strong. There's a lot to like about him. And they were talking about game day today about teams that have maybe hit their ceiling. Is your ceiling higher or this and that? I think his ceiling, he's just starting to scratch the surface. He's still learning what he can do at this level and what he can be.
Yeah, and that means Baylor's ceiling is still undetermined.
Well,
foul against Utah.
And they continue to play without Jeremy Roach and Langston Love. And, you know, you can't make excuses. No one's going to feel sorry for you when you're Baylor. With all the success that they've had, no one's stopping and going, yeah, you know, those guys are out, man. I feel really bad for Coach Drew. Nope. It's the Big 12. You got to figure it out. And they've come out with a great sense of purpose today.
Edgecombe with the left hand, high off the glass. There's his first 2 make.
And just like that, he's the first player in double figures this afternoon.
34-18 after Baylor fell behind 9-2 at the start of this game. That's Mason Madsen who's in for the first time. He got fouled. Jason Asamoto tried to cut him off at the baseline, but a foul. 2 more free throws coming for Utah. What's their free throw shooting?
50%.
Back up to 50. 4 out of 8.
Everything has become a lot more congested in the paint for them than what it was earlier. Now, there's 2 reasons for that. One, Baylor has made the adjustment to the clear approach that Coach Smith wanted to establish early, and that was punching the ball in the paint. They did a great job of scoring 3 out of their first 4 buckets came from less than 2 feet away. Now, subsequently, though, this Utah team has missed too many easy shots in the paint, even after that run.
Yeah.
So they're just continuing to compound their mistakes and make things more difficult on themselves. And, you know, again, 50% from the free throw line. You're shooting 28% on your home floor from the field against a team like Baylor. It's really hard.
They're 1 for their last 15 from the floor, and they haven't made a field goal in 8 minutes. Edgecombe baseline, kicked it out, found his teammate, 3 no good. Madsen to Madsen, one twin brother to another, and then back to his twin, stolen away by Edgecombe. Pass was deflected.
He's got to bounce past that. You fake high and you skip it down low to your guard.
So it's not perfect for the young man. Little 3, no good. Played last year at Baylor, and he has struggled big time in 2 head-to-head matchups. He hasn't made a shot against his old team. He's 0 for 11 between the 2 games. Still have 4 minutes to go here in the first half. Now Little steals it away from Robert Wright. A lob and the finish. No, tried to dunk it home. He got fouled. Wow. No shots are going down. They do go back to the free throw line. They need
to see. Now you beat Kentucky. I mean, you talk about putting down some pillars and paving that cement for the foundation of what you're trying to build. A lot of excitement there should be for Vandy. That's a significant win.
All right, guys, we're talking about maybe Utah getting something from the free throw line here at the end of the half. I mean, they cannot make a shot. They are one of their last 17 from the field. They haven't made a field goal in almost 10 minutes, but they do get the 2 free throws there from Miro Little.
That puts them over 50% of the line now.
Baby steps. And they're in the game. There's a long way to go. Caleb Lohner is in for the first time. Pass trying to hit O'Meara at the rim.
Hey, hit singles, kid, on the pass. Like, I mean, VJ Edgecombe is going for home run after home run. All of his turnovers have been trying to slide it through a very small window.
Good pass. Little three. Good.
The pass at this end that led to the turnover, then a lack of communication at the defensive end by VJ Edgecombe led to that wide open three.
As talented as he is, and we've seen flashes of the super high level talent, he's still a young guy, still learning. Lead is down to 10. He finds O'Meara. O'Meara with a foul. Didn't finish, but will go to the free throw line.
And Scott Drew looked up and said, great pass. You know, I mean, you just got to try to build some confidence. But let's go back to that last defensive possession. Watch Edgecombe in the middle of your paint. You see him dead center on that Big 12 logo. As the ball gets reversed, he's standing down in the paint, and it's a very late closeout. That is about as wide open as you can get in game.
Well, finally, for Miro Little, who had not made a shot against his old team. He played, what, like 7-8 minutes a game last year for Baylor. Came here to Utah as a transfer. Went to Waco, went 0 for 9 from the field. Did not score a single point in the first matchup between these two teams. O'Meara way short on the free throw.
It's like the guys were talking about in the studio. It's about just trying to find some positive momentum, right? You make 2 free throws. Now you hit a 3. Start going on a little bit of a run.
1 out of 2 from O'Meara. Very unusual lineup for Utah. Very unusual, but for the last minute or so, it's been effective. Little wasn't looking for the pass, almost had to go right past him. Caleb Lohner, former Baylor player himself, his first bucket of the day. He's bulked up. He just came off the football field, played for Utah in the fall. Big dude.
We saw him as a freshman at BYU. He was lean and cut, and now he's big and bulky.
Edgecombe, left-hand finish plus a foul. Woo. Nice move, VJ Edgecombe.
Caleb Lohner surveys and just overpowers Norchad O'Meara. How many times do you say that on the season?
Almost
Not often.
never.
And then VJ Edgecombe, right, left, doesn't matter. He wants to get downhill. He turns that corner. His athleticism and ability to extend out and finish.
Did he have a good football season? Well, they needed to throw it to him a little more. That's my expert opinion. 4 catches, 4 touchdowns for the Utes on the football field. That's big-time college football.
He's got the size. I mean, we've seen basketball guys translate over. Rico Gathers comes to mind, a former Baylor Bear.
Yeah. Lots of tight ends, and that's what he is. The Tony Gonzalez's of the world, the Jimmy Grahams.
It's hard for me to throw Tony Gonzalez in there because Tony Gonzalez was such an elite football player. Like, he was a good basketball player, but man, he was great even in college at football.
Antonio Gates was a college basketball player. Lots of examples. Maybe Caleb Lohner could be the next guy. Mason Madsen challenged, couldn't finish.
Good verticality on the wall up defensively. Didn't break at the top with the arms. Absorbed the contact.
Edgecombe slowed up, looked to his coach, who called a play from the Baylor bench.
Well, Edgecombe, coming off a 30-point performance, has got 14 right now.
Shot clock under 10. Down the lane. Shot blocked. Dawes got it. Utah. Madsen, 3. Good! The other Madsen.
4-3 of the first half. 12 of their 29 coming from there.
And finally for Utah, some shots starting to go down. The lead is single digits for Baylor. Final minute of this first half. Double team, stolen away. Lohner outlets it, and Edgecombe got back and knocked it out of bounds.
No, turnovers have been a problem here for Baylor in the first half, and this was a great block, and then the run out, looking to aggressively attack, let the defense flatten out as they're thinking you're looking at the paint, and then you just kick it to a wide open shooter on the wing. Patience in your secondary break. It's not always got to be at 100 miles an hour. Change the speed, let the defense react, and then take what they give you.
Madsen's feeling it. Another 3 right in front of the Baylor bench.
Where was that for 10 minutes of this first half?
No kidding.
I mean, you take the way they ended and the way it started. I don't know why they're letting it roll. The clock is rolling.
Yeah. That was weird.
Well, you're trying to milk the shot clock so you can milk the game, but still 10 seconds. Just play.
Shot clock down to 5. Good defense. Baseline, layup, no good. Rebound, Dawes has it. He's still got 8 seconds. Utah, Erickson gonna try to take it all the way. They call him an offensive foul.
Easy. Watch the left arm, shoulder goes down, pushes off into the body. That's an easy call.
Hunter thought there was a little sell job on that. Celestine from way outside, no good. So Baylor takes a lead to the locker room. The fans love the officials. And Utah.
And their toughness that they brought. And I'm getting them in really early here in the second half if the starters don't answer the bell.
So the starters are in to start the half for the Utes. Baylor ball up 7. Looking for a road win. Looking to improve to 5-3 in Big 12 play. Robert Wright with no Jeremy Roach again today for Baylor. Still day-to-day, game-to-game in that concussion protocol. Edgecombe elevates for 3, in and out, no good. Rebound though, Baylor snatches it. Here's Nunn open, 3 is good.
I mean, good shot by Edgecombe. Looked like it was going to go down. You manufactured the offensive rebound by overpowering Utah to get that rebound and kick out to a wide open three-point shooter. Good start.
Yeah, very good. Ojanwana now on the perimeter guarding the big man Lovering. Shot of jumps just kind of heaves one up there. A long-range 3.
It didn't really shift the defense, force it to defend multiple sides of the floor.
In and out. Another offensive rebound, though, for the big man. That's 2 in 2 possessions. Josh Ojanwana.
That's what Baylor, when you think about how they can be elite and what can they do to be elite, it's getting on that offensive glass. I mean, they can manufacture extra possessions.
They're not as deep at that spot as they have been some of their best teams over the last decade.
They've had 3 or 4 of those guys, but when you've got a guy like Norchad Omier at 6 rebounds in the first half to go along with his 8 points, and we didn't even talk about him. I mean, near double-double in the first half.
Yeah. And now he's got another bucket there. Nice move along the baseline. First 4 points of the half. For Baylor and the Utah starters, it's happening again. This combination just has been blitzed. If I'm Craig Smith, I'm thinking I got to get to my bench fast. Even that one.
Great block.
Should have been a layup. Omier blocked it. Stayed with it, though, and Wallin laid it in. Utah has had a hard time finishing at the rim. They're going to call an offensive foul. So before the kick ball, Omier An illegal screen.
First team foul and a half for the Bears.
That previous possession, some good positives for 15. And he looked like he was going to try to drive baseline, gets cut off, but watch the composure. Just settles in, gets his eyes on the rim, soft touch, elevates over the top. What he did on that screen, though, Dave, he put his hands on the defensive player and pushed off of him, trying to get that short window pass.
Here's Gabe Madsen curling off a screen. Too strong, long rebound. Edgecombe has it. It's Edgecombe against the entire Utah team. He had it poked away.
Where are you going, though? That's a travel. That's a travel.
Didn't call it. Dunk! Utah got away with one.
Dave, he took 7 steps.
That's a few too many.
All right, so both comical errors, really. I mean, VJ Edgecombe's got to have the awareness that it's 4-on-1. He's the 1 versus the 4. Pull the ball out. Don't let him back tap you. All right, just reset, pull it out, wait for everybody to come up the court with you. But then, I mean, a blatant walk at midcourt.
Edgecombe, nice bounce pass, and the big man, Ojonwuna, just fumbled it. That was right there. I think that was a good pass.
I would agree with you.
Madsen stepped into another 3, in and out. Offensive rebound, layup good for Asar. Hadn't been this close since it was 1914. That was a long time ago. And Baylor uses a timeout.
Building's got a little juice.
Does.
Utes have a little bit of energy.
They do.
But man, I mean, when I saw it, I was like, he just took 5 steps right in front of me. It's at the midcourt line. We're sitting right here.
Yes, that one seemed pretty obvious. And Utah got away with it, and you got to give them credit. They took advantage.
Hey, remember, it's not a foul unless the referees call it, and evidently it's not a travel unless they call it either.
Some deep philosophical questions there. Celestine in, Edgecombe on the bench. Foul against Wallin.
Foul number 10, Jake Wallin. His first second team foul for the
It's been a fun game.
It has been.
Like, look, this is, I think, part of the issue with Utah, right? That you watch them and you see these flashes and these stretches where they play hard and they execute and they trust and they move the ball well, and you go, man, they would be a pretty good team. You know, and then you see them really struggle and lock up like they did in the first half, where they didn't make a shot for over 9 minutes, almost 10 minutes of actual game action.
They had a 1 for 17 stretch from the field. That was a tough shot by Celestine. Wallin was wide open. I mean, nobody guarding him, nobody within 20 feet of him.
You make the simple play, and that's part of how they get bogged down offensively, right? Like they're trying to force something rather than just react to what they see. If you reverse that ball, by the way, you already have the switch, and Lovering has got a guard that's 6'1" on him. On the ball reversal, he's going to be wide open and able to duck in on that reversal.
Shot clock under 10 now. Madsen hit his first shot. It's been tough going since then. Good pass. Asar, not much of an outside shooter. Offensive rebound, though. Here's Madsen, wide open. That one no good. Asar flying all over the place, and he gets another offensive rebound. Foul.
One of the great transfers in college basketball coming from North Florida has been huge for Tennessee, but the difference between wins and losses, significant. When he's in rhythm and he shoots the ball efficiently, man, it opens up their offense. Tennessee at times can get bogged down.
No pressure, Chaz. But you got to play well tonight.
Well, even as Coach Rick Barnes said, you know, we brought you here and we pay you a lot of money. Make shots.
Yeah.
You got to make shots. The last 2 games, he's been really, really good, averaging over 20 points per game and better than 50% from 3.
Utah, meanwhile, got a good look out of the timeout, but missed it. So now Baylor ball up 8 with 15 minutes to go. Shot clock winding down. Edgecombe's going to have to shoot it. He does. In and out.
And every shot that he's taken, though, today has been on target, meaning that they've all looked good.
Down low, tough, dangerous pass, but it got there, and Asar will go to the free throw line.
A couple things that have not gone Baylor's way is, one, they're fouling too frequently. And they're just leaving their feet and they're bailing Utah out.
13 foul for the Bears.
That, in a lot of ways, that kept Utah in the game in the first half. I mean, the Utes couldn't make a shot, period, and they were in the double bonus and got at least a few points at the line.
That and turnovers. I mean, the points off of turnovers are 10-4 in advantage of Utah.
Ezra Asar missed all 3 of his free throws in the first half. Ooh. Lovering out, Caleb Lohner in. Waleem comes out, and Keanu Dawes checks in.
You almost feel like the tension in Azar's shoulders when he's shooting right now at the free throw line. Like he just has a lack of belief. He needs to relax his upper body. There it is a little bit. Just trust yourself.
That was better.
I mean, did you see the big exhale? And there was no tension in his neck and his shoulders. The first one, you could literally see the tension in his muscles. It's like trying to sink a putt, Dave. I mean, you're a really good putter in golf.
Yeah, you can't be tense. Saved inbounds. O'Meara got a look for right, no good. Here comes Utah. Asar is on the attack. He's really playing aggressive. That was too aggressive. That's a backcourt violation and a turnover.
You're such a good golfer. They send you the Masters every year for ESPN.
I don't get to play in it.
That would be great.
That would be pretty cool.
I would love to be your caddy.
The score would be pretty high, though.
That doesn't matter.
Tournament conditions.
Good skip.
Nunn's been pretty quiet down the lane. Good.
That was all predicated upon that diagonal skip over the top, and then a quick, no hesitation, back to the strong side, and then the help side was cheating over to where they had rotated to on that skip and created the seam to attack.
In the corner. Asar got pinned by O'Meara, had nowhere to go, got the ball back after it hit off the backboard and made the shot.
O'Meara with 3 personal fouls was not going to risk picking up his 4th there.
See if Utah maybe exploits that a little bit.
I'd continue to attack him, especially with Caleb Lohner if that's who he's guarding.
Quick shot, left side, no good. Great rebound. Edgecombe, another one. Celestine, no good again. They'll try another one. That one's no good. O'Meara right over top Lohner. Out of bounds, they're going to call a foul against Caleb Lohner.
After 3 offensive rebounds, O'Meara was like, okay, enough with the 3-point shots. I'm going to go ahead and try to get in there. Previous possession, watch the diagonal skip pass out of Norchad O'Meara. The defense then rotates. Look how they all step to the ball, but they don't step back as it gets reversed, and that's what creates that seam to attack.
It's a good point. You don't get credit for the assist, but he made a good play. It led to a basket. Baylor ball. O'Meara one-on-one against Lohner, working his way in. And his shot was deflected. All those offensive rebounds, Baylor did not come away with points. Whips the pass in the corner, 3, no good. That was Erickson. Utah's just 4 of 17 from 3-point range.
Their 3-point shot attempts have dropped down recently as they want to continue to get inside. The struggle is just trying to get inside the teeth of this defense right now.
Nunn's going to go right down the lane for a second time. This time he missed the layup. O'Meara, offensive board, stripped away, out of bounds off of Utah. Well, the Utes can't get a defensive rebound right now.
Well, Norchad O'Meara, a double-double. That was his 10th rebound.
Showed a replay up on the big board. Fans thought the ball went off of Baylor, out of bounds. Not reviewable. O'Meara shoots a 3. Good, with a hand in his face. How about that?
30% 3-point shooter on the season.
Lead back to 10. Dawes tries to answer. Almost an air ball.
That's a bad possession. I mean, that is a no-pass possession essentially in the half court. Norchad O'Meara steps in, knocks down the 3-point shot, as mentioned, 30% of the year. He's up to 13 and 10, but you come back down, trailing by 10. Make Baylor defend you. Don't just settle.
Edgecombe Attacks baseline, got in the air, had it ripped away. Loner.
Second there, I thought he looked like a bull in a china shop going. I thought he was going to run over everybody on the way to the cup.
He saw the goal line. He was headed for the end zone. He traveled.
Well, Utah needs a little toughness. They need a little fight in them. Their head coach, he grew up
full of juice.
That's Coach Smith's Mount Rushmore in the WWE.
It's not about what I have, Coach. It's about you. This is about you and the Utes.
Do you want to know my 4?
I do.
Andre the Giant.
Okay.
You can't possibly have a list without the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Disappointed that Coach didn't put the Nature Boy on there. Stone Cold Steve Austin, I'm in agreement with. And I'll go with the modern day champion that just put on a heck of a run, Roman Reigns. He deserves to be on that list now after what he's done over the last 3 years.
I'm staying out of this. That's not my area of expertise, but
You trust me?
Coach Smith, big fan, huh?
Huge fan. He has wrestling figures in his office.
Yeah. So
how
that's
many
the
Division,
that
how many
sort of
Division I
prompted the
coaches
whole
do
thing.
you think have wrestling figures sitting in their office?
1. Greg. Now foul against Baylor.
What would be the one thing you would have in your office if you were a coach? If you were a coach, that would be off the wall.
I'm a minimalist when it comes to. I'm not going to have
so
a lot of
boring,
decor.
Dave.
I am a little boring. I would have. You know what I would do? I would have the jerseys of the best players of my program, whatever program I'm coaching in. That's what I want to see around the office.
All right.
It's not wacky. It's not goofy. It's not off the wall.
Nothing. A couple of good books, maybe.
Yeah, I'm a reader. Shot clock under 5. Shot blocked. And Little got hammered. Celestine landed awkwardly on his right ankle. So he's down and hurting. Yikes. And he got called for the foul.
He's still not getting up yet. Coach Drew waiting, not wanting to go out on the floor. I think what happened was when he landed on the back heel of his right leg.
He has 4 fouls. For the moment, he's staying in the game. That was also a big call for Utah because it was about to be a shot clock violation. Hopefully he's okay.
The trainer wants to go look at him. He's going to walk back into the tunnel.
Assar down low. Lovering dunks it home. He's been quiet.
A simple basketball, though, right? Get the ball in the paint, force someone to help. They vacate that back's line. Just drop it down to him and let him get an easy 2. That's what Utah did very early in this game. They have not gotten to that often since the start.
Omir's going to try another 3. That one way short. Over the top, good catch. Assar might have gotten away with a walk, but he lays it in.
If you're flipping around and you just get into this game, those last 2 possessions is how this game started. And what you want to do is force the defense to have to react and shift and change. And Coach Drew's calling a timeout because they're not rotating defensively well at all along the back line. I mean, you walk in the arena early, the teams are warming up. You and I come back out from a coaches meeting and we look to the right where VJ Edgecombe is getting warmed up, and there is nothing but NBA scouts lining the seats to the right of us.
I don't think it was a coincidence that they were all congregating on that side.
No. This is a special player that's got a very bright future, but Norchad Omir, a very aggressive move out of the timeout. You know, he's trying to play smart with the 3 fouls as the foul trouble mounts up a little bit for Baylor. But he's got to maintain a level of aggressiveness, but be smart in it. With a player with his experience and how many games and minutes he's had, Dave, that shouldn't be an issue.
Makes both free throws. He's almost the opposite of Edgecombe in a lot of ways. I mean, he doesn't have the physical tools. He's a big, strong kid, but not the explosion, not the high potential that the scouts are looking for just So much know-how, so much experience, toughness.
He also knows how to play with fouls. He's had 3 straight games with 4 fouls.
Lovering inside, Asar. He traveled.
That was still too easy. I mean, the defense on that back line, if you're not guarding anybody, you've got to step up and meet them more where that Big 12 logo is instead of inside the white arc that's drawn on the floor.
Lead is 10 for Baylor, under 10 minutes to play. Looking for a road win in the Big 12. Edgecombe.
You can attack this. I go right back to him. Don't give it up. You've got a big man on you. You're a superior athlete.
He elevates. Rebound, Little got fouled.
Now, the next step for Edgecombe is to drive by him really hard and force him to honor that and stop and pull it back and hit a little mid-range jump shot. There is no way that Lovering could stop with that momentum going down, and you allowed his length to be disruptive rather than creating space by pulling that ball back. And I get it analytically today. We talk about three-pointers and layups, three-pointers and layups. Some of the best scorers in the NBA that I watch, they thrive in the mid-range.
Yeah, and you're right. That was an opportunity for what could have been an easy look. Nice pass. Asar had it blocked from behind, but another foul called. That's the 31st personal foul already in this game between the two teams. We still have more than 8.5 minutes to play.
At the line, number 2, Ezra Asar.
Probably more pressing for Baylor is the ease in which the ball's being entered into the post and then how they're playing out of it. And if you're Utah and you're watching and you're paying attention, you're on the floor, you're on the bench, man, you keep going back to it until Baylor figures it out. Then you can go back to shooting outside shots and three-point shots. You punch it in and keep hammering, drawing fouls, stopping the clock, tightening this game up.
Asar missed that free throw. Ball saved in by Baylor. He's got 14. He struggled at the line, but still had a productive game.
He's got 14 points and 7 rebounds.
Yep.
I mean, he's also been on the glass.
He's playing hard. Edgecombe from the corner, 3.
Great relocation. On that drive, baseline from the opposite side, you relocate over into the corner, get your feet set and dial it in. He's 4 for 6 from deep and he's got 17.
Again, underneath the basket.
Another foul. I mean, so there's 2 things that they're accomplishing here. They're not making the free throws, but they are softening up the defense on the inside of Baylor by drawing these fouls. L.J. Cryer, Emmanuel Sharp, he's back today after missing the game against Utah. They are shooting the ball really well from deep on the season. 44% combined between those 2.
Well, it would be fun to watch. A test for that defense, but it's the best defense in the country, right?
It is right now, for no question. 11 straight wins going into Allen Fieldhouse against the Kansas Jayhawks. Big 12 is about, man, winning games on the road becomes gold. And for Baylor, they're dealing with a lot of foul trouble right now. 3 guys with 4. No Chad O'Meara. He's got 3. That's what Utah has been able to do by continually attacking the paint. And while things, down 11, you're not feeling overly confident, you can gain confidence by continuing to get them in more and more foul trouble. This is not a deep interior presence for the Baylor Bears.
Asamoah with 4 fouls is on the floor. Jonwana is not. Neither is Celestine. Edgecombe has got to get a shot off here in the next few seconds. Steps in and hit it. Wow.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. I've given him a lot of credit. That was lucky.
A little line drive went right in. He used a big long step to find an opening. Little passed up the 3. He'll shoot this one from the right side. Got it.
Good offense, though. Everybody was collapsed into the paint because of what the foul trouble. They're going to overhelp into the paint right now. And that was a good, clean look after a ball reversal. Not first side. They forced him to guard multiple sides of the floor.
Baylor trying to survive these last 7 minutes with all the foul trouble piling up. They do have a 10-point lead. All the way to the basket. What a move from Robert Wright.
He's small in stature, but he knows how to finish amongst the length and the athleticism around the paint.
Good player, having a really good freshman year. Foul from behind Edgecombe. That's his third.
Foul number 7.
Foul trouble a little bit for him. Watch this.
Third, 9th team foul.
Stops. Goes underneath. I mean, that is a line drive. Just let it rip. And speaking about let it rip, Little on the opposite end. Look how wide open he was. Good ball reversal. Got to the free throw line and then kicked from there. When you drive and you start to attack the paint, the defense has to react. When they react, everything opens up.
I was kind of hoping Scott Drew was asking him, now, how did you do that?
You talked about line drives. I thought about you at spring training for the Giants.
Yeah, he's getting ready. Asar makes the front end. Asar's getting to the free throw line over and over, but he's only 4 of 10 at the line.
I like his aggressiveness, though.
I do, too.
He only had 1 point at Houston and was 0 of 4 shooting. He's got 16 points and 7 rebounds here. Make it 17.
Well, Utah can't wait much longer. 6:16 to go, plenty of time, but they're down 10. Call a foul. Edgecombe driving against Little. Foul against Utah. Well, we talked about that big women's game on Monday in the SEC. Number 2, South Carolina. Number 17, Tennessee. In Knoxville, 7 Eastern on ESPN2.
Well, congratulations to the Vols head coach.
Oh, nifty play by Little to Madsen for the dunk. That was a cool pass. Lead down to 8. And Asar gets called for the reach-in.
A little loose with the basketball. We've seen that a couple of times, and Little just flipped it right behind him. And Madsen with the finish at the other end. And turnovers and points off of turnovers had been a big advantage for Utah for most of the afternoon. They forced 10 turnovers, and it's led to 12 points.
Can you believe those are the first points for Gabe Madsen since he made that 3 to start the game? First shot of the game.
Well, they need to get him going more. I mean, for this team to have success, he can't be 2 of 8.
Another foul on Asar.
I do want to finish up the thought on Tennessee women, though, on Monday night
Okay.
in South Carolina. Kim Caldwell, the head coach of Tennessee, gave birth to a baby boy this week. She missed their game actually on the road against Texas. And so congratulations to her. The team has really supported her a ton. They've had a baby shower in the locker room. But she's had Tennessee playing some really good basketball this season, too. They're 4 losses in conference play are by a total of 8 points.
Omier made both free throws. That's a big week.
Huge week.
Lead is still 10. Utah's tried to chip away. They just haven't been able in these last few minutes to get it real close. Little, 3. No good.
I like what they did, though, trying by setting that screen, forcing Norchad Omier to switch off and have to defend out on the perimeter because it takes away some of his rebounding ability around the basket as well. Advantage Norchad Omier here.
Yeah. With Erickson on him. Passed out.
Out of bounds. Bears pass.
Okay, out of bounds. Shot clock has 0.4 of a second on it. On the shot clock during that timeout, 4:19 to go.
You can dribble at one time. I'm looking for Edgecombe to kind of come towards the rim.
They lobbed it to him. He caught it and laid it in.
Little screen, slip action right to the cup.
And that's hard to defend because he's just an incredible, explosive athlete. You just throw it as high as you can.
Great call, though, by Coach Drew. You got 1 second left. You use the most athletic player out on the floor and say, get as close to the basket as you can.
Madsen stopped, had it rejected by Edgecombe. Lovering catches, lays it in himself.
And Norchad Omier, because the fouls, you got 3 guys with 4. He's got 3. He's not wanting to pick that up. Even with 4 minutes left to go, he let him have it.
Yeah, and I think Utah, I mean, that's going to be available. The question is, can they get any stops? Otherwise, it won't matter. Edgecombe's got that big man on him again. That was pretty good defense. Left hand, no good. Weak side rebound, Omier.
Just overpowers. You get the switch, right? And the switch forces the 5 to guard Edgecombe, and then it forces the guard to have to guard Norchad Omier. That's not going to end well for you.
Baylor deflects the ball, steals it away.
And if I'm Scott Drew, I go right back to that. Work that Edgecombe, Omier on-ball screen, and then play out of that. He's taking time with the weave action.
Yeah, smart. Omier, open 3. Got it. And a lot of people here in the Huntsman Center just stood up.
He's pretty special. 22 and 11 for Norchad Omier. We talked about him at the start of the game. With his 4th rebound, he became 1,500 rebounds on his career to go with 2,000 points. And VJ Edgecombe, coming off of a 30-point performance, has 21 now in back cut, utilizing his athleticism with 1.3 seconds on the shot clock, able to finish. Look at the elevation, the ability to come down and gather instead of having to force it. Smart play by him. He knew he had the time to do it. And then in the previous possession, Norchad Omier spaces the floor at the top of the key. And these 2 players have been sensational. 43 points combined between the 2 of them.
And you know, it's not just the scoring. A lot of deflections, rebounds, steals. They've just both played really well.
It's the efficiency, too. I mean, both of them shooting it well. I mean, VJ Edgecombe started 0 for 4 and is now 8 of 18. He's almost at 50% shooting on the day. And he's got a variety, a little bit of everything in his bag. And Norchad Omier, so much of his work comes in the paint. In transition, he runs the floor so well. He gets offensive rebounds, looks for the putbacks all the time. And twice he's been able to stretch the defense and get out beyond the 3-point line. But he is 6 of 9 shooting. 11 rebounds. So you have 17 rebounds and 43 points combined between those 2 players on your screen. That's a good day at the office on the road.
So Utah, they fought hard here since they fell behind in the first half, and they got reasonably close a couple different times here in the second half, but down 15, 2:34 to go, and Craig Smith and his Utes staring at a 5th loss in conference play. Unless they can pull off a miracle here. Got to get points, so they got to get them fast. Asar goes to the bucket and lays it in.
They're going to weave it. And again, milk this shot clock down. They probably will look to go around 8. It's at 8 right now. Got to go.
Right down the lane, draws a foul, so perfect for Baylor. You take all that time off the clock, and you get to the free throw line.
You don't win as many games as Scott Drew has, and not understand how to put one away on the road. And you shorten up the game. You get in your weave action. And at 8 seconds, you look to be aggressive and attack. You think about it, Coach Drew is one of 7 active coaches with at least 450 wins at their current school. Mark Few, Tom Izzo, Bill Self, Greg Campy, Randy Bennett, and Matt Painter. That's elite company. Then you look at how many guys actually have national championship rings that are still coaching in college basketball. We've lost a lot of them in the last couple of years to retirement and just shutting it down.
There aren't very many. Now, that would be a decent list. If you just wanted to say, well, who are the best coaches in the country, that list you rattled off, that would be a pretty good list.
Yeah, you put Dan Hurley's name on it too, for sure.
And he'll tell you, and the officials. Foul against Utah.
You know, I mean, in a transition right now where we've lost a lot of icons, right? Like guys that we were staples on the sideline. Coach K, Roy Williams, Jim Boeheim. You know, even Tony Bennett and Jay Wright, that were younger coaches, I think left the game too early in my opinion, right? Because they had the chance to be faces on the sideline. Scott Drew has become one of the faces of college basketball.
He has. Front end missed. Utah. Erickson is going to take it to the basket and score. Timeout Utes. And Scott Drew and his team, they're going to stay here in the state of Utah. So they have a little road trip.
I hope they get up to Park City and enjoy the Sundance Film Festival just like you and I did. But that game at BYU, that's going to be a raucous environment come Tuesday night. And then look at the gauntlet that comes after that. Kansas at Texas Tech. You got UCF, who's dangerous with their guards and how they draw fouls. And then Houston, who we've chronicled already, has been elite. The team that's a sleeper right now in the Big 12 is Texas Tech. They're healthy. That's a big part for Grant McCaslin.
Yeah, and going to Lubbock, no easy task. You don't get a break in this league. You don't.
And every one of those environments will be sold out on the road. And that's the challenge for a lot of these teams and a lot of these programs. You know, you don't get to feel comfortable in this conference on the road. There's a reason why 9 out of the last 11 years of college basketball, this has been the #1 ranked conference in the country. Now, the SEC has been great this year. And they're going to walk away with that because of their success in November and December.
Baylor breaks the pressure. Utah's not fouling. Now they foul after all that.
Foul number 25, Mike Sharp, his second 10th team foul for the Rebel Utes.
But I think that to me even speaks louder to what Baylor's accomplished. Because a lot of what they've accomplished at this elite level has been in that 11-year window where the Big 12 has been the best conference in the country. And you can make a legitimate argument that had the 2020 NCAA tournament happened, that this team would have been one of the favorites.
Yeah.
Dayton, San Diego State, Kansas was playing great.
Both free throws good for Scott Drew's team. The other thing, too, I mean, we've talked a lot about it tonight. But, I mean, you have Omier, you have these solid sort of veteran-type players. Number 7 is getting better in a hurry.
And that puts everybody else on notice. That's a great block shot there.
He got another block. That's kind of what I mean, Sean. He's done a lot of little things. It's not just the spectacular.
He avoids the foul with the body, kept showing his hands to the official the entire time, and then utilizes his A+ athleticism to block that shot.
Jonathan nailed that grade.
At the line, number 1,
You know, your point though is important, as is the fact that Coach Drew has had a lot of turnover on his staff in recent years. He's had a lot of guys that were on his bench that are now head coaches in this conference and beyond. And as a new staff has surrounded him, it's about their trust and their communication in one another. It's about the staff's understanding of what Coach Drew needs. Their defense getting better. Why is their defense getting better? It's not just the players understanding it, but it's also the coaches being able to fine-tune better as their relationship with Scott Drew continues to, cement itself to the level. When you have an assistant coach that's been on your staff for 17, 20 years, well, that guy knows you because you've been through everything together for such a long period of time.
Loner catch and layup, good. Yeah, for so long there was so much continuity around this Baylor program, and it's the price of success, right? You win a lot of games, and everybody wants to know how you did it, and we want the guys that helped you do it. This turns into a nice win for the Bears.
It's a huge win for them to come on the road and get this done. And now their attention will turn to BYU. And that is a team that can get really hot, in particular at home. Yegar Demon, a very special talent in his own right. He's struggled a little bit recently in shooting the ball, but a lot of mock drafts have him as a lottery pick. Richie Saunders has been their best player.
He has. Kind of a good development story. Final few seconds here. Batted out of bounds. So Baylor will inbound it. The final seconds are going to tick off the clock. Craig Smith's team still has a lot of work to do. Baylor is going to improve to 13-6, 5-3 in conference play. 76-61. You wouldn't have known it in the first couple minutes. Baylor got off to a slow start and then played great. So that's our